The following video contains heavy spoilers for both Diablo 3 and Diablo 2, though I figure the statute of limitations is kind of out on that one because it's 12 years old. Either way, you've been warned.
12 years the world waited. 12 long years for continuation. Continuation of the story of Sanctuary. Story of pandemonium, of the eternal conflict. What would happen? Meanwhile, on Sanctuary, 20 years passed. 20 years since the World Stone was destroyed. 20 years since we apparently triumphed.
And then we get this? Seriously. Hey guys, Jeep's here, and we gotta have a talk. We gotta have a talk about Diablo 3's story. Because, it kind of sucks a little bit. And that makes me very sad. Now, I'm sure someone out there right now is thinking, well, Diablo 2's story was dumb too. I don't even know who plays it for the loot and the No! No, shut up, you're wrong. That's dumb, and you're dumb, and I hate you. But that's beside the point. The thing is, Diablo 2's story was actually pretty cool. And I don't even really mean the story you as the hero were involved in. The really cool story in Diablo 2, and this is pre-Lord of Destruction, this is when it was really awesome, was the story of Marius, I forgot how it was pronounced, who was the kind of hanger-on drifter guy who followed the Dark Wanderer around. Or Diablo, you know, take your pick. That story was awesome. You know, seeing this guy who just, for some reason, kind of got swept up in everything. And then at the end of original Diablo, again, pre-Lords of Destruction, with Diablo and Mephisto apparently destroyed and dealt with, he still has Baal's Soulstone. He's the one who let loose Baal upon the world again, because he was tricked. And he has Baal's Soulstone. You find out he's been telling this story. Telling the story to this man. He's in a prison cell. And then you find out, all along, this guy he's been telling the story to was Baal. Baal takes the Soul Stone, kills him, and heads to Ariat to corrupt the World Stone. That was so cool! And then we get Lords of Destruction, all the shit going up Ariat, and at the end, the climactic battle and Tyrael destroying the World Stone, leading to all these theories that, oh man, is Tyrael evil? What's going on? And this is what we... Oh man. So let's keep going, shall we? Alright, so, the first real problem, and honestly, maybe the biggest problem, I'm just gonna get to this first. And I know the internet has already done this point to death. I know everyone and their mothers has made this point. But the thing is, they're right. And this is the biggest problem with this game's story in general. Leah. Leah is the weakest character in the whole thing, and she's the most important character in the whole thing. You can't do that. You don't understand. You really can't do that. You can't have your linchpin character, the one that really everything, and I mean everything, centers around. You cannot have them be this bad. So, I know the big point everyone's brought up is the whole, I just don't believe that you can do things this way. I don't believe, these are just stories, Deckard. Yeah, stories. And, I mean, they're right. But that's not the big thing. I mean, she brings up, you know, she talks about fighting the undead and things like that. I can accept that she could believe in undead and some of the crazy magic that happens in Sanctuary, in this world they have created, and not maybe believe in the demons. Like, okay, I get that. There's necromancers, there's stuff like that. There are people who can summon undead, separate from this big angels versus demons battle. I get that. But here's the thing. She makes this big point of saying, especially, you know, in Act 1. Tyrael changes her whole views on this. The end of Act 1. She makes this big point of saying she doesn't believe in these demons, that they're just stories.
It was all just stories.
But in the same act, before she even acted, she clearly believes in some of this stuff because she talks about it. She talks about the Nephilim when you go to the Drowned Temple. She tells you exactly what they are. She talks about how the angels came down to talk to them, and she seems to clearly believe all of it there, but at the end it's still just stories when it comes to the lords of hell and the demons and stuff. And you can't believe one side of this crap and not the other side of this crap. Like, look at this world. I mean, how can one be reasonable and one isn't? Or is that just one of those, is this just one of those tropes that happens in, like, these fantasy heaven versus hell religion-y kind of setting things? That you only believe one side of it, the other can't exist? Oh, man. So she's just a weak character in general. It's this inconsistency that she has with the Nephilim. I tell you about the Nephilim, stuff like that. Oh, no, demons aren't real. I'm gonna stab this zombie now. Okay, again, I know I wouldn't go on about the undead thing. I get the undead thing. That's okay. But so inconsistent. Such an inconsistent character. And she's the linchpin of the plot. Hell, she's fucking Diablo. She is Diablo. I know that I already said spoiler warning, so I'm not going to say it again. There's a big spoiler. If you didn't figure that one out from the beginning of the damn game, however, you weren't paying attention, they make it pretty damn clear that she's the child of Adria, as in, you know, they tell you she's the child of Adria, because that's a big point too, and the Dark Wanderer. If you've been paying any attention, you find out in Act 1, pretty much directly, and I didn't say it, but it so heavily implies that she is the child of Adria and the Dark Wanderer in Act 1, that how could you not see that she was going to become Diablo? Especially since all the imagery of Diablo shows this more slightly, like, female-looking version of the demon? Come on! Telegraphed a mile away. And you know, speaking of telegraphing, I think that brings us to our next big problem. This game does literally no effort, puts no effort whatsoever in its storytelling to not advertise these plot twists, and there's air quotes around the word plot twists here, a mile away. You meet the stranger. He fell from heaven and apart. It's Tyrael. Who at all who played Diablo 2, even like once, who knew anything about the Diablo lore, didn't call in an instant that the stranger was Tyrael? Anyone? Literally anyone. Did anyone not guess? Even before they revealed, oh, he's sword of the high heavens. It was fucking Tyrael. Everyone knew. Oh, God, it was so blatant. And that was meant to be like a twist, I think. It seemed to be that was meant to be like a plot twist. That wasn't even a twist. You knew it was Tyrael from the beginning of the... Ugh. Secondly, how about all the backstabbing that happens that's obvious from a mile away? And I'm not even talking about Zoltan Kulle. I mean, Zoltan Kulle in Act 2, that was almost just comical. But it was almost, that I can almost forgive, because they almost seem to play it out, like, even the characters were in on it. It's like, okay, we know he's gonna betray us because he's evil and we've been helping him, and as soon as we bring him back to life, we know he's gonna betray us. Okay, I can forgive that one, because it was honestly more just supervillain-esque levels of just, like, comedic evil. Of, I'm immediately going to betray you as soon as you have helped me achieve my goal. Okay, I forgive that, because, again, comical. But how about Adria? Another obvious point. Adria was very, very, very obviously evil from the beginning. Just listen to how she talks. Look at her. Just, well, not look at her. I mean, she looks like just any other character. But the way she talks, you can tell she's not a good guy. She's not on your side. Why is she's so demanding? She's got all these twisted motives. And then, lo and behold, she was working for Diablo the whole time. Oh my God, stop telegraphing your plot a million miles away. And then, at the end, she just disappears. Oh, here's the expansion that we'll be having. And don't get me wrong, I want an expansion to this game. But all these complaints aside, I do enjoy this game. But there, it's like, oh, we need to get a villain to escape. We need another villain for next round. Oh yeah, Adria's still alive. Oh, good. 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 But yeah, seriously, telegraphed a mile away. Zoltan Kuhl was evil, but that was obvious. Adria was evil. Oh, yeah, again, spoilers, Adria's evil, guys. She brings back Diablo. Damn it, Blizzard. I remember better from you. I remember better from you when it came to story writing. I mean, think back to 2. I talked about the twist in 2 earlier. That was so good. So good. The whole thing with Marius, the whole thing with Bale being that villain the whole time, the guy's telling the story to his Bale. Oh, it's so... so good. And honestly, I kind of wish they just kept going with those rampant theories that maybe Tyrael was evil, and that he was behind all this stuff. Nah, Tyrael became just the blatant super good guy. The, like, goodest of guys. And I'll admit, Tyrael was a badass in this. Human Tyrael is awesome. He doesn't do very much, unfortunately, but he is awesome. I'll give him that. And I feel I gotta go on to something now. As much as I'm bashing some of the stuff they do in the plot they do in this game, it did do something very, very well. Just the general background lore is presented amazingly well. All the little lore books you can find, the little enemy lore stuff, that's all really cool. Also, the side characters, like Hadrig, and the 3 companion characters, and most importantly, Covetous Shen, who is the most amazingly hilarious character ever. I mean, it's a Blizzard game. They had to have that one character, the one goofy guy. Oh, Shen was awesome. Come on. And that they left ambiguous of, maybe he's actually this trickster god. Maybe he's a crazy old man. Who knows? That was actually pretty well done. And all the little conversations with the side characters and their little, like, subplots, which admittedly don't really go anywhere, because they're just background. But they were cool. Like the bit with the Enchantress and when you finding out the Prophet was actually an angel, which kind of proved that Tyrael wasn't the only angel who was trying to help humanity directly. Just this guy, the other one, was being way more subtle about it. Stuff like that. That was really cool. And then just the scoundrel is just charming rogue. I felt it a little weird that he would actually tag along with you this whole time to fight demons, given he was just like a roguish, charming thief. But again, forgivable because they were all interesting characters. And the Templar was just zealous and amazing. Zealous and amazing. Why can't your major characters be that good in this game? Why? I'm okay with your character not having much. Diablo 2, your character did pretty much well, he did everything, or she did everything, depending on who you played. But you weren't really important to the plot. You had, like, no roles. The plot was everyone else going around you, and you were the instrument of... You were just the instrument of the story, to move things along. In 3, it's a bit better, because in 3, at least you have dialogue, you at least talk, and all the characters feel a bit more distinct. But I'm still okay with you not being that built up. But why are your characters like Adria, your characters like Leah, obviously, and even Tyrael, who, while cool, felt a little overzealously the good guy. Why can't they be as good as your little side characters? Why? Why? Come on, why? Your side characters were great, then your main plot characters were weak as hell. And no discussion of this game, or Diablo in general, would be complete without talking about the one, the only, Deckard Cain. Stay a while and listen. Oh, I'd love to, Cain. I'd love to, but they killed you in the middle of Act 1. So I can't stay a while and I can't listen because you're dead. You're dead. Let me be clear here. I actually have no problems with the fact that they kill Deckard Cain. He's a very old man, and I feel him dying was able to be used as a decent plot device. However, that falls short in 2 ways. The plot device was, his dying was meant to kind of galvanize Leah a bit. Except it doesn't still. It galvanizes her to want revenge, but she still doesn't believe anything he was saying until the cutscene at the end of Act 1. Except that she kind of did, but that's beside the point. We already talked about all that. But 2 is, I don't think they should have killed him so early. You rescue him, and then it feels like an hour later he's dead. I am fine. I am absolutely fine with Deckard Cain getting killed. Because, like I said, old man, and he's done his job, and it's kind of time for him to go. But so early on, the most iconic character in these games didn't really get a chance to do anything interesting. Or to be much of a character. I guess they kind of save it because you still get the lore books that he dropped all over Chaldeum. And he still reads a lot of the lore entries you pick up, mostly on the demon enemies. But man, I just wanted more Deckard Cain. Let's be honest. That's partially just a personal rant. I love that old man. He's the best. And then we don't get any more of him. And his death was only there to galvanize the worst written character in the entire game to do something, which it didn't really even accomplish that well. And I guess to leave this opening for Adria to show back up, to be her comically villainous evil self. I'm evilly twiddling my fingers around right now. You can't see it, but know that it is happening. And it just felt disappointing. They could have done more with Deckard Cain before they had him die. They did very little with him before he died. And it just felt pointless. Just felt kind of pointless. So Diablo 3, guys, it is a great game. Don't get me wrong. All its problems aside, even its lore problems aside, its online, weird, stupid issues aside, it's a good game. I'm enjoying the hell out of it still. I've been putting stuff up for you to see. I'm sure most of you are playing it anyway. But the story kind of sucks. And it left a lot to be desired, and I feel this has been a problem with Blizzard games of late in general. StarCraft 2's story left a lot to be desired when you compare it to StarCraft 1 and Brood War. Brood War and StarCraft 1 had a really well done story. For an RTS, it was great. And Diablo 2 also had a great story. What has happened, guys? Blizzard? Blizz? What are you doing? We know you can do better than this, and that's why it's disappointing. That's why it's so disappointing. Alright, guys. That's it. If you want to discuss this, please, by all means, leave comments, send me messages, whatever. I feel this is a good point to discuss. This might just be preaching to the choir. Who knows? But that's it. I've been Jeeps. I'll talk to you guys later.